Welcome to Elderly Wisdom Secrets. In today's video, we're diving deep into the 5 toxic phrases that seniors often say to their grown children without realizing the emotional damage they cause. While these words may come from a place of love or concern, they can silently wound your children's hearts and, in some cases, completely destroy the bond you've worked so hard to build. It's easy to say things out of habit, but sometimes those words can linger longer than we ever imagine. And today, I'm going to share with you the most common phrases that, if not carefully avoided, can create an unspoken wall between you and your children. Most importantly, we'll discuss phrase number 3, which has the potential to sever ties forever if left unchecked. So are you ready to learn how to improve your relationship with your grown children? Let's begin. Toxic phrase number 1. You're just like your father/mother. At first glance, this phrase may seem like a harmless remark or even a playful joke, but deep down, it can cut through a lot more than just the surface. When you tell your grown children you're just like your father/mother, it often taps into old wounds and unresolved feelings from the past. These might be emotions they've never fully dealt with, feelings of inadequacy, resentment, or even regret. Take Mrs. Carroll, a 72-year-old grandmother from Texas. She loved her daughter deeply, but she often said, "You're just like your father, stubborn as a rock." What Carol didn't realize was that her daughter had struggled with her father's controlling behavior for years. That seemingly innocent phrase dug up memories and emotions her daughter wasn't prepared to confront. It led to tension that lasted long after the conversation ended. Instead of strengthening their bond, the phrase created distance. It made her daughter feel as though she was being judged and misunderstood, even though Carol had no intention of hurting her. When you repeat this kind of phrase, your child may start to feel like they are being compared to a version of themselves they do not want to embrace. This is especially dangerous when it comes to adult children, who are at a stage in life where they're working hard to find their identity. What can you do instead? First, remember to be aware of your words. Instead of pointing out flaws, highlight their positive traits and the things that make them unique. You could say something like, "I admire your strength, your perseverance, and your big heart. Those are qualities I love about you." Toxic phrase number 2. I told you so. We've all been there. That moment when you warned your children about a decision and now that things have gone wrong, you can't help but say, "I told you so." It might feel like a lesson learned, but what it's really doing is deepening the emotional divide between you and your child. It's not just a phrase, it's a silent criticism that cuts to the core. Take Mr. John, 68, from Florida. His son had made a significant financial mistake. Mr. John, feeling justified in his warning, said, "I told you so." But those words didn't offer guidance. Instead, they sent a message to his son that he wasn't capable of making decisions on his own, and worse, that he'd never receive the support he needed from his father. It wasn't just a lesson, it was an emotional blow. Words like this make your child feel like they're constantly being judged, that no matter what they do, it's never good enough. Trust and mutual respect are lost, and over time, resentment builds. Your child might even begin to feel that they have to distance themselves from you to avoid further hurt. So, what can you say instead? Rather than pointing out their mistake, try showing empathy and understanding. A better approach might be, "I know that decision wasn't easy, but we can get through it together. What can we learn from this?" Toxic phrase number 3, after all I've done for you. Few words feel heavier on the heart than these. When a parent says, "After all I've done for you," it doesn't sound like love. It sounds like a debt being collected. Instead of bringing gratitude, it quietly builds guilt, resentment, and distance. Picture Mrs. Linda, 74, from New Jersey. She spent her life working 2 jobs, sacrificing her dreams to give her children every opportunity. Her love was real, her efforts immense. But whenever her daughter chose a different path, she would hear, "After everything I gave up for you." Over time, those words became a chain around her daughter's heart, heavy, suffocating. Instead of feeling closer, her daughter felt trapped in a cycle of obligation and pain. Adult children don't want to feel like they owe their happiness to someone else's sacrifice. They want to honor you because they love you, not because they feel burdened to pay a debt they never asked for. What can you say instead? Offer your love as a gift, not a bargain. A simple phrase like, "Raising you has been one of my greatest joys," leaves no burden, only warmth. It reminds your children that your love was never a transaction. It was a choice made with an open heart. Toxic phrase number 4. When I was your age. At first, it sounds innocent, a trip down memory lane. But to your grown children, it often lands like a heavy stone, a reminder that no matter how hard they try, they'll never quite measure up. Mr. Robert, 70, from Ohio, often told his son, "When I was your age, I already had a house and a family." He thought he was offering perspective, a little motivation. But what his son heard was something else entirely. "You're failing." What Mr. Robert didn't realize was that the world his son lives in is very different from the one he grew up in, harder, faster, and less forgiving. His words didn't build pride. They built a wall, one brick at a time, between 2 generations longing to understand each other. Comparison steals connection. It makes children feel invisible, unappreciated, and painfully alone. What's a better way? Drop the measuring stick. Offer presence instead of pressure. Say something like, "I see how hard you're working. I'm proud of the strength you show every day." Because what grown children need most isn't a lecture about how it used to be. They need someone who sees them, here and now, and says, "You are enough." Toxic phrase number 5, "You should have done this by now." This phrase might seem like just a gentle push, but it carries a heavy burden. When you say, "You should have done this by now," it isn't a mere observation. It's a criticism wrapped in disappointment. Instead of empowering your children to move forward, it anchors them in the past, making them feel like they are falling short, behind, or failing. Let's consider Mr. Steve, 71, from California. When his daughter struggled to find her career path, he would often say, "By the time I was your age, I already had a family, a career, and a house. You should have done this by now." Steve thought he was motivating her, but what he didn't realize was that his words made her feel like a failure, as if she had missed some invisible deadline. Each time he said this, it eroded her confidence just a little more, turning what should have been an encouraging conversation into a painful reminder of her perceived inadequacies. This phrase builds pressure and self-doubt, often pushing your child to either shut down emotionally or withdraw from the relationship altogether. They start to feel that no matter what they do, it's never enough. So what can you say instead? Shift the narrative. Rather than focusing on what hasn't been achieved yet, focus on what they are doing right. You could say, "I see how hard you're working, and I'm so proud of you. Keep going, you're on the right track." Those words aren't just encouragement, they're validation. They give your child the strength to keep moving forward, knowing that their efforts are recognized and valued. Today we uncovered 5 toxic phrases that many seniors, with the best of intentions, may unknowingly use. These words, however well-meaning, can silently hurt, alienate, and even drive a wedge between you and your grown children. But the incredible part? You can change this. Your words are a powerful tool. They can either build bridges or create walls. The choice is always yours. By choosing to speak with love, empathy, and understanding, you are empowering your children, not weighing them down. It's not about perfection. It's about genuine connection and the willingness to grow together. Every small change in how we communicate can lead to a lifetime of stronger, healthier relationships. At Elderly Wisdom Secrets, we believe that love, understanding, and careful communication are the keys to transforming relationships. You are not defined by past mistakes, but by the actions you take today. So the next time you speak to your grown children, think about how your words will make them feel. Will they feel heard, supported, and loved, or will they feel judged and misunderstood? If this video has made you reflect on the power of your words, share it with others who need this reminder. Let's build a community of love, wisdom, and understanding. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to Elderly Wisdom Secrets, because together we can help each other create healthier, happier, and more fulfilling relationships. You deserve to have meaningful connections with your loved ones. Let's start today, one kind word at a time.